I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump has just made some really deranged and reprehensible, vile, disgusting posts that I want to share with you here. Remember, this is still the leader of the MAGA Republican cult that is the Republican Party today. We can't blind our eyes and cover our ears to this reality. And, you know, if you're not loyal to his cult, he attacks you. I mean, look at what he's doing to Mitch McConnell in these posts. This is the post that he just made about Mitch McConnell. He goes, Mitch McConnell is either the worst negotiator in the history of politics or a stone cold crook. There can be no other explanation as to why he has become such a rubber stamp for the Democrats. Republicans use debt ceiling to get it all back. So a lot to unpack here. But number one, accusing Mitch McConnell of being a crook because he helped pass a spending bill that enabled our government to function back in December. That's why you're saying that he's a crook. And then you're saying Republicans use the debt ceiling. What Donald Trump and what these MAGA Republicans are trying to do is they're trying to shut down our government, cause and force the United States to default on its debt, to utterly destroy our economy as President Biden is rebuilding our economy and putting it in a strong and frankly fiscally conservative position. That's what President Biden is doing. And in fact, the need to raise the debt ceiling has nothing to do with new spending. Frankly, it is all about paying the bills that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans ran up. It's about paying the bills of that spending that you caused when you ran up our debt and didn't have a way to pay for it with your tax cuts for billionaires. Full stop. And then saying Mitch McConnell is the worst negotiator. Remember, everything Donald Trump says is projection. So just substitute the name Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the worst negotiator. Donald Trump is a stone cold crook. That is who Donald Trump is referring to. He's referring to himself. And of course, Donald Trump has to be racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, and attack the wives of people. By the way, someone who was in his cabinet, okay? So Donald Trump attacks Mitch McConnell's wife, Elena Chow, and says, does Coco Chow, by the way, she was the Secretary of Transportation of the Department of Transportation in the Trump administration, a cabinet appointee. This is what Donald Trump says. Does Coco Chow have anything to do with Joe Biden's classified documents being sent and stored in Chinatown? Her husband, the old broken crow, is very close to Biden, the Democrats, and of course China. He gives them all whatever they want. And calling Elaine Chao one Coco Chow is disgusting. Saying that, did she put Biden's documents in Chinatown? You know, it's just overtly racist and xenophobic and disgusting. Then calling Mitch McConnell an old broken crow and saying he's very close with the Democrats. Mitch McConnell's not very close with the Democrats. It just goes to show you that the MAGA Republican Party is a cult. Okay? I don't think you need much more proof, but when they say Mitch McConnell is a Democrat or Mitch McConnell is close to the Democrats, he's not. He's a Republican. We don't accept him in the Democratic Party. Mitch McConnell is not ours, but at least he recognizes you need a functioning government. At least he recognizes that. And I don't even have to break down Donald Trump's rhetoric. This is just hateful, disgusting, despicable language. And frankly, for someone to look at this and laugh or think that it's funny or cheer on this type of language, it is beyond problematic. Objectively, frankly, no matter what your political affiliation is, and I know Fox and MAGA Republicans have brought us beyond to the depths of areas that it's unfathomable. But there should be, objectively, you look at this and you go, this is despicable, this is disqualifying, but not for MAGA Republicans. It should have nothing to do with political party. You would say, who is the hateful person who wrote this? Remember back in the day where it would be disqualifying for candidates if they didn't know how to spell potato, or if they, were windsurfing in a campaign video or things like that. There would be disqualifying things like that. But now the MAGA Republicans have no standards at all because they fully embrace fascism, that they're just okay with statements like this, just racist, xenophobic, hateful statements, frankly, about Republicans. They're attacking Mitch McConnell and Mitch McConnell's wife, a cabinet secretary in the Trump administration. It just goes to show you who they are. I talk about it here a lot on the podcast, in the MeidasTouch Network. I go, if you can't look at pandemic and go, pandemic, bad. George Santos, bad. Election denying, bad. Insurrections, bad. I could go on and on. If you can't do that, what the heck are you? That's who the MAGA Republicans are. They can't say no to those things. It's odd, it's disgusting, it's despicable. Here's what Trump also writes. He goes, I've got a 75-year-old man who has never been in trouble before. He's talking about Alan Weisselberg. I got a 75-year-old man who has never been in trouble before, sitting in prison over not paying a small tax on the use of a company apartment, a company car, or his grandchildren's education, while drug dealers and murderers freely roam the sidewalks of New York, with nothing being done to stop them. Crime, in fact, is at an all-time high. The radical left Democrats put him there, 90 days in jail or 10 years life, depending on what you say about Trump. Our country is going to hell. Trump is so desperate. He's so afraid right now that the Manhattan District Attorney is going to prosecute him. He's terrified that Special Counsel Jack Smith is going to prosecute him. Just even his language here. I've got a 75-year-old man. You got nothing. You don't have a 75-year-old man. The people of the state of New York has an individual who pled guilty on serious counts of tax fraud, multiple felony counts, who is serving a prison sentence that most New Yorkers think is far too light. And most New Yorkers feel that the Trump organization has gotten away with a ton. The fact that they could be convicted on 17 felony counts and only have to pay a $1.6 million fine. Although, look, I think the Manhattan District Attorney is ultimately going to criminally prosecute Donald Trump. But by the way, you see here, I think Donald Trump fears that that's what's going to take place here. That is his, that fear is permeating this statement. But ultimately, you're describing crimes. What do you mean, over not paying a small tax? When your lawyers made that argument to the jury that $50,000 here and $75,000 here and $200,000 here is a small amount of money to rip people off, do you know how much that offended the jury? Where the jury said, really? You think that $100,000 is not a lot of money to steal? You think people could just steal $100,000 here and there? How despicable. That's a huge amount of money. That's life-changing money for people. And how dare you say, oh, just steal 100 here, 100 there, 100 there. Or Donald Trump, oh, I don't have to pay taxes. I'll pay taxes to the Chinese government, which you do. I'll do deals with the Chinese government, but I'm just going to screw the United States of America. That is who you are, you pathetic traitor. Donald Trump goes on to say, he goes, President Trump was 233 wins and 22 losses in the midterm elections. He just puts a quote. Quoting yourself? You were pathetic in the midterm elections. Voters absolutely despise you right now. And it just shows how not confident you are, that you have to keep repeating this over and over again. Oh, and to talk about how not confident you are, I know yesterday or 2 days ago on Trump's social media platform, he bragged about winning the golf tournament in his own golf course in Palm Beach. And now he got Breitbart to write an article about it for him. So he posts the article, Trump wins senior club championship at Trump International Golf Club. Like, what a propagandist can you be? It always is these wannabe strong men who, I'm an 8th degree black belt like Putin, or the photos of himself on the horse with his shirt off. And here Donald Trump saying, I have great stamina. You cheat. You cheat. It's been widely known that you cheat in golf all the time, especially at your golf courses. Okay, you want to win? Why don't you play? Why don't you see if you could win in a golf course that you don't own with cameras on you? You won't. You've never placed in golf tournaments outside of Trump golf tournaments because you cheat. You move the ball. You lie about your score. You don't take down the scores correctly. And everyone who's played with you said that you were like the biggest cheater in everything you do, especially in golf. I mean, you claim that you won the tournament in 1999 before the golf course was ever even open. You claimed you won during the presidency in 2018. You didn't even play in the tournament. You forced the winner to play a game with you where you forced him to let you win after he won the tournament so you could claim that you were the co-champion. How pathetic is that? How pathetic it is that you're posting it, and how pathetic it is that there is a whole political party that supports this nonsense. This should be completely nonpartisan. Whether you're an independent, a former Republican, a Democrat, someone who's not affiliated with political parties, can we just look at this and say, this is freaking crazy, that this is a maniac, that this is horrible conduct? Can we just call a spade without both sidesing the issues? That's what we're going to always do here at the MeidasTouch Network, and we will never let you down. We're not going to ever both sides issues. We are going to call this insanity out, but don't ever want to give the benefit of the doubt of even allowing him to make an insanity plea or an insanity defense, because he knows exactly what he is doing, and we are going to make sure he is held accountable at each and every step. I'm Ben Meiselas of the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, so please, we're on our way to 1 million subscribers. Hit the subscribe button now. And in addition to subscribing, check us out at Patreon. If you will, go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You'll love the exclusive content we have on our Patreon site. Like, we just did a 3-hour session on Zoom where we answered every one of our patrons' questions. Everyone. Not a single person didn't get to ask a question. And we had hundreds of people on there. So if you wanted to speak to us directly, we did that. So I think you'll like the exclusive content there, and it helps grow this independent media platform. So check it out, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.